All right, we got 10 yet? All right, let's do it. Mike P., you want to talk again, please?
Yes. So for the budgets this year, what each department did is kind of went through last year's, this year's, appropriations. Where applicable, we tried to make them based on accurate stuff like what the payroll is going to be, looking at different bills like health insurance and stuff like that to try to get things as accurate as possible. So the first thing is the general. You can see on the side the dollar amounts that were appropriated for 2020. A 3% increase for those things that we didn't really have any bills for or anything like that, or things that we didn't know specifically what they were going to change by. And then the 2021 appropriation in the next column. And then the third column explains whether or not that was based on actual bills, or based on the 3% increase. There'll be nothing in there.
So the 2020 appropriations, that's current, right?
That's currently what we got right now.
Year,
yes,
right?
That's currently what we've got right now. So those are this year's appropriations, not what we've actually spent year to date, but what we said we were going to spend, kind of our budget from last year, quote unquote. And then the fourth column, the third column over.
Do we have this? Was this
Yes.
in the drive?
It's
When
on
was it?
Google Drive. It's under office
It's
management.
in Karen's reports
When was it placed there?
It was placed there several days ago.
last week.
It was Friday?
We placed everything in there by Friday
I thought you
afternoon.
were actually looking at stuff and were commenting on it.
I was looking at stuff, but I got so many freaking files on my computer right now. I'm trying to figure out which is which, so.
This is, if you go Google Drive,
It's under
this current meeting,
Okay.
and under the office manager folder, this is the Excel sheet with all the, this one is the all.
It says 2021 all appropriations, right?
Yeah.
I will add that there are copies of the spreadsheet with just fire and just road
Right, so there's the all.
in that
there's just-
folder and then
yes.
in their folders as well. So just copy the same file.
Right. So there's several files in there. There's
Yeah.
the all.
It says Paul though.
There is just the fire budget.
I'm good. I downloaded everything. The question I had was if this is something different than what
No.
was put up.
No.
Because I downloaded everything over the weekend, so if it was
Yes.
there Friday, I have it.
Yes.
That's what I was
It was
really
there
asking.
Friday.
Okay, so let's move on.
So general's pretty explanatory. There's nothing crazy that's going on with general. Motor vehicle license, gas, and road, which are the next three. Those are just our typical total of $300,000 for our, that we take out each year and use that with the match for OPWC for the road and bridge, for the paving. The police is the police. And then the lighting district is the lighting district. Whatever we collect in, we pay out. So OPWC is just kind of in and out. We have to, even though we don't actually get that money, it comes in, we have to record it and then show it as going out for purposes. The TIF, it's got nothing in there right now. We don't believe we're going to be probably collecting, we don't know if we're going to be collecting anything in 2021 or not yet.
All right, so we can look at this one after. I want to move to,
Okay.
let's just go first to Billy. He's got the smaller budget, so let's go to Bill
So
first.
let's go to the road budget. You know, like, go to the actual road budget, because it's got a little more detail on the road budget. So,
Oh, does it?
there-
It's different than this one?
It's the same, except for. it just
Details
got-
in column
it just
H.
got some additional, that's gonna be an Excel sheet.
I have that in
There
the
will
side
say,
too.
no, not machinery.
You might have to go into, you have to go into the bills folder.
Road appropriations, right? It was the last
That
one.
was an office manager.
Go
Oh,
back
is it in
up.
there?
It's the last one on the list, Mike. There you go.
Okay. Okay.
Same thing here. Actually, this one has more.
I don't know, Bill, if you want to comment at all on it. Like I said before.
Okay, when Karen and I went over this, she made a lot of it actual from what the expenses were in 2020 and increased it by 3%. Down toward the bottom,
Billy, let me stop you for a moment. So on the 2020 appropriations, you said she made it on actual. So where it says 2020 appropriations, that's actual.
Those are the appropriations for this year. They're not actual. That was our budget for this year.
Okay, so any numbers that we've moved during the course of the year, this is accounting for that.
Correct.
This isn't actual expenditures yet. This is just appropriations.
That's all we're working on now is our 2021 budget for the next year.
All right, go
Correct,
ahead.
but the 2020 line is not actual expenditures. That's
No.
what you've done
Right,
estimated for year end.
correct.
and what I have in front of me, what I'm commenting on is what we're looking at for 2021.
And the 2020 appropriation, I mean, we updated that and everything like that, so now that's kind of like for right now, so we kind of know this is where we're at right now, so we've already got, 10 months worth of the year in, so it's not, those numbers have been adjusted. So the salaries and that, those, the only thing we did was we did a 3% increase on that. We didn't know what, normally we do the wage increase in February. But we just put 3% in there just for budget purposes. The medical and dental and all that, those are based on actual bills that we know with our new bills that are coming in, stuff like that. Of course, the Social Security, the Medicare, the PRS and all that is based on the wages, so there's a formula there that increases it based on the wages. You want to go down a little farther?
So I have a question on medical hospitalization.
Uh-huh.
So we were, and maybe because it is the bill, but does that include like a 10% rate increase?
Yes, I believe that's for the new bills, yes.
Okay, because it's only an $8,000 increase from the last appropriation, but maybe we were high there.
Yeah.
Because I would think that we'd be going up 17,000
Right.
instead of just the 8, but okay.
We may not have last year have done an actual dollar amount, we had just guesstimated it last year. For 2020, this year, I should say. So pretty much standard. If you want to go all the way to the bottom, Mike, of that sheet. Our total budget is, stop right there. Okay, so then you got, the bigger items that are kind of more what I would say are discretionary. Some discretionary, but, that's the road paving. So we were 300,000, and then we got some monies in there from the county, right?
Yes, the money that the county gave us last year, we used toward that project, and we said that then we would add that amount to this year's road project. So last year, we spent less than what we appropriated because we used that county money. So this year, we're going to be able to do in 2021, we'll be able to do a road paving project about 420,000.
All right, which line item are we talking about?
That is line number,
Can't see the numbers.
the count, 5990040, about 5 from the bottom. It's one of the biggest one in the yellow highlighted.
All right, got it.
412,000.
All right, so that one went from 300 to 412. Tell me again why, please.
That has, there was 140 some thousand, or 100 some,
114 we got from-
114,000.
The county gave us $114,000 last year,
Okay,
and we had already gone to bid with our project.
okay.
So we just said, can we use it for that project?
We don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, you had to
Yes, we
use
do.
last year.
We have to use it.
So we used that last year and
Yes.
spent less of our own money with the idea of, well, the county gave us money for additional paving. We still want to do the additional paving. We move it to this year.
And the county's requirement was that we spend it on a road project.
We did, we
They-
spent it
well,
last year.
They approved that.
Yeah.
Because of the timing. So I think we're obligated to spend it on roads this year.
We can lower what we're gonna spend too, so it doesn't matter.
That we can do.
You guys can decide how much you wanna do. We thought we were gonna do around 300. Last year, or this past year, we didn't do 300 because we got that money from them. So you guys decide, that's up to you. If you don't wanna spend that much, you don't have to. I don't know if we've even done, the the specs and everything like that for the road projects that we want to do
Yes,
this year?
we've been working on that, and we're looking at 400 from 410 to 420 projects.
Not including OPWC,
No, this is separate from OPWC. This is money that came from the levy,
right?
the permanent levy a couple years
So
ago.
you guys can decide, that's what you want to do. We're not locked into that 300 a year. That's the nice part about it. That's why we kind of didn't separate it out into a thing, which we call it a separate fund. So that you can do 0, you can do 300, you can do 400, you can do whatever it is.
Mike, go back up on this one. Go back up to that medical line, please. For 170,000. So what was appropriated in 2020?
170,000.
170,000.
Okay, so I'm showing, and I'm not sure my numbers are right. If my numbers are correct, I'm showing through October, we've spent 161. And I'm not sure how much we pay each month. We'd have to add those for the last 2 months because we pay monthly, correct?
If I could remind everybody, you got to speak right to the microphones. I just got a text, we're not being heard very well. So you got to move the microphones maybe a little closer.
That's me probably.
That's, yeah, I'm looking.
Trustees are being heard okay. It's the people off to what I believe to be the side of the room.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nobody's.
All right, so, yeah, so what we're paying something monthly, so we still would have November and December to pay, and then we'd have to go another 10% on top of that number. So I guess what I'm getting at is the 178 that we're showing there is probably not correct. It's probably has to go about 20, 30,000 more is what I'm guessing.
I'll have her look at that. I'm assuming that she got that. I'm assuming we know what our next bill's gonna be here, or we know kind of what our dollar amount is gonna be and that we.
All right, so just clarify and get back with us if you
Okay.
would, please.
Yeah.
All right, so Billy, what else do you have?
Well, if you look at the very bottom of this
Go back to the bottom.
list, the estimated revenue is going to be 1.895. The total resources, 2.858. The expenses are a little bit more than revenue because we're going to take money from the county. So once we take that money out, we'll be back to our expenses will be less than revenue. That's what's projected. The adjustments we made were in the salt appropriations because we already know what the salt price is for next year. So, and I know what I have on hand and what I have to spend. So we were able to drop that by 20,000. And the machinery, equipment, and furniture last year was $100,000. I've upped it to 150 this year based on the discussion sheet that I included in my folder. Because of the equipment we were able to get using the COVID funds, we are not going to have to buy any trucks for the foreseeable future, especially not the big trucks. But if I wanted to include 150,000 in that appropriation for next year, because I thought next year would be a good time to buy a mini excavator that we've been wanting and just haven't had the money for. And then also I thought we could, I've been getting some estimates on a pole barn storage building because we're just getting very crowded inside of our garage. And
The mini excavator, is that something we now rent now?
yes, actually we rented it today for the storm sewer project on Stratford. So
I guess we rent it often enough that having our own makes sense.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And the prices really are not, they're in the, with the state discount, we're in the $68,000 to $72,000 range on all three different ones that we've looked at.
Can you
So
pull up there's a, so leave that spreadsheet up, but you also pull up on the other spreadsheet for the.
What was the mill of the levy we passed last time?
1.9.
1.9.
1.95.
1.95, right under 2.
Go to.
All right, let me make a note here on this one. Hang on.
Sixteen, 17. Go over just a little bit to the right so that we can see what 21 looks like.
So while we're trying to find that up there, next year is the year that I would like to add another employee to the service department. So we have,
Hang on, Billy, I want to stop you there. You're getting ahead of me. So I'm still on this 150. So with the 150, what are you looking to purchase?
a mini excavator, and then I'm getting quotes on a pole barn. We can, the pole barn at 40 by 60, we can get a shell of it put up for under 50. We wouldn't have to go to bid at that point. Then in-house, we could do the concrete floor, and we could do the, hire somebody to do the electrical, but we could do the trench and run the electrical and the gas out to there. And
And you said the mini excavator is approximately, say, 70 grand?
yep, let me pull it up here.
And a pole barn?
Yes, we're looking at 66, 67.5, 73.5.
Okay, approximately 70 is close enough.
Yeah.
And then this pole barn would be the difference, 80 grand?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And I don't know that it would be that much, but we're trying to do that to maybe piece it together so we don't have to draw up, engineered plans and go to bid.
So you're saying we'll do the concrete work?
We'll do the site prep for the base. Then they can put the shell up with the roof. And then we could do the concrete floor. And at that point, it wouldn't have any siding on it, but we could decide then, based on the prices next year, whether we want to go with a metal siding or vinyl siding or just T111 sheet.
And why do we need this pole
Because
barn?
we're just running out of room in the garage. A lot of it is because we just got 3 trucks that we didn't have. And then if we can take a lot of our off-road equipment, which is the sewer jet and the air compressor and the roller and the chipper and those kind of equipment, and put that out in a storage barn, then we can use the whole inside of our garage for our trucks and maintenance needs, maintenance on the trucks.
And then if we didn't do this, how would you continue? What would you do? Just live how you are now?
Yeah, we'll just jam it in there and make do.
Okay.
Would that be would that be heated?
Yeah,
The pole barn would be heated?
yeah, only heated, to keep things from freezing in there. If we put the sewer jet in there, it's got to be cold enough so the water doesn't freeze in the pump, and the roller has water in it, so.
So you're thinking 50 is only gonna get you the holes in the roof?
Um,
Not even the
I mean,
walls?
the shell, but yeah, the stringers, I guess I'm saying it, but not the,
You're not gonna get the exterior wall covering, is what you're saying?
that is,
Where would you put
Correct.
that, Jason, to the building now, or?
no, we would, I want to put this out where we had the recycling, the metal recycling bins. There's already the concrete and asphalt pad out there, could be used as the driveway entrance, and then just off of that.
That's coming in off of
We would access off of Post Road.
Post Road.
Yes.
About those pre-built metal, you wanna do anything like that? Just a thought, if it's just. gonna be
All right, we can look at it.
stuff
So-
like that.
We can get a more
And this is-
specific detail. So at this point, coming into the meeting, we're just trying to absorb what you got to hear. So that's that. You started talking about manpower, so let's discuss that, Bill.
I think that with the workload that we got, I would like to add another guy on the road. I'm figuring at a starting wage with wages and benefits, we'd be about $75,000 for that first year.
So where does that show up here on salaries?
It is on the spreadsheet that says 2021 appropriations with adding another employee.
I think that's in Bill's file.
It would be that was in my,
We can talk about this in
You
executive
got
session,
an
but
extra
did they
$75,000.
research what we talked about last meeting?
a little bit, but
Okay.
not.
So you want to add another person, and you're saying total compensation package all will be about 75?
That first year, yes. And then when we have an employee who has said he was going to retire in 2021, so replacing him will be a savings, probably $10,000 the first year, just because starting somebody with the lower wages.
Would this, hiring a full-time, would this reduce the need for then one of the, or any of the summer help, or no?
This year, we only had one summer help, and we got by with that. Summer help are at $12 an hour for usually 10 weeks. This year, they went a
Yeah.
little bit longer, but typically it's 10 weeks. So
What about that extra guy we hire? We use on occasion on Wednesdays and whenever you need.
the part-time guy, he would still do what, he strictly is there for the yard waste program.
So you'd be looking maybe at just one part-time then in the summer moving forward versus trying to get for two if you hire a full-time guy? Or would you still be looking to do two?
No, one would do good.
Okay.
But as we project this out, I think it's projected out to 2028. If we, with keeping the road appropriations steadily declining over that year, if you get to 2028, it does show that we don't have a carryover. So I just want to point that out. This is projected if we hire another guy.
Well, we intended it to last, what was the intent when we did that?
I thought it was 10
10
years.
years, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a continuum.
Perfect,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
But the point was we would carry us 10 years before we would have to look
Yeah.
at what we needed to
Because I think always
do.
before, if we did the 5-year and renew,
Yeah.
5-year renew, and then another 5-year renew with increase. So we just decided, let's just do
Correct,
something that's gonna get us to 10 and
Yeah.
make it permanent, and then,
because we're never gonna need less,
correct.
you know.
But either way, as we move forward, we're going to have to reduce the expenditures that we're spending on our 100% township funded road program as we move forward.
Well, that's something we didn't always have that, right? I mean,
No,
there
no, we
was
didn't.
several years we just did OPWC.
Yeah, that's all.
And we
Well,
made the
we used
decision
our 300 from the other ones
to,
Yeah,
as a match for that, but if we didn't have that, we still got 300
Yeah.
or so to use.
But that was part of
So
selling.
we always.
oh, absolutely.
We use it with OPWC to do it, so.
yeah, well, and that's why we've done a lot more paving the last couple of years.
So Billy,
And we did
I'm not,
400 last year, so.
I'm not sold, I'm not sold on the extra body. Thinking, I mean, I realize that we have we have Fairway Meadows, and I realize we have Cali Farms. How much more do we have?
I mean, you got all of the new developments up on
84, right by
84.
Concord.
So you got Kelly Farms.
Yeah, and then
phases
That's
there.
just a big loop. So Cali Farms is a big loop. Meadows is the one that would take a little bit longer because you have those cul-de-sacs.
but this isn't just based on snow plowing needs. It's just based on we're having parks that we have to take care of now, and I realize it doesn't seem like the hometown heroes is a big deal, but when you hang 100 of them over the course of the spring and you're taking 100 of them down in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, I just, because I live here and drive by, I mean, you guys seem like you're out there quite a bit of at least two guys.
So it's just,
Okay, so what else you got, Bill? Besides normal stuff here of normal increases.
yeah, that was.
So the two big takeaways on this, is you're looking for one more person,
Yes,
and you're looking at the 150 instead of a vehicle to use for, as you'd explained.
yes.
How long are we set for vehicles?
Well, I can't see us needing anything 3 or 4 years, and that would just, at that point, it's going to be one of the smaller trucks, like a pickup truck.
Billy, following this meeting tomorrow, could you send us, Gabe asked a question on the additional manpower, how that reflects to a part-timer. If you could work all those numbers, show us what you're looking at, and then what you wouldn't do. I'm not sold on it yet, so I can get a better feel for the numbers as to where we're at. And then secondly, God, what else was there? Something else was in my mind.
So the summer help is 3 hours a week,
$12 an
$12
hour.
an hour, so that's what, for
$600 a week, is that almost?
Yeah.
10, I mean, so that's for 10 weeks, that's $6,000. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
But if you do one less, so if you start,
Correct.
I mean, I guess the thing is if you got one less vehicle, it's 75,000. One less summer help, it's 6,000. Now
Yeah,
you're 81. So now this guy's paid for the next at least 5 years. If we reduce it to one because he's adding a full-time, one less truck. So now
Oh, yeah.
essentially you got a net cost.
The other thing I'm looking for was if you can update your capital, future purchases for capital plan.
It's in the.
It's in there too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give it a look. Thank you.
Plowing and stuff.
All right, you guys, anything else for Bill?
no, I guess we just, I know our guys will get a standard set of vacation days. Can't really take vacation through the winter. So I think you get to if spring, summer, late spring, summer, and early fall, you probably have a lot of guys out, so,
Yes,
that can make getting summer work done troublesome.
Right.
yeah, that does play into it. You have a couple guys off and now the project you wanted to do that day has to be put off maybe to another day.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get that for you. And if you don't have any other questions,
I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill. Chief?
Okay, let's go to fire budget, please. X out of that one.
What time are we trying to get started with the regular work session, do you know?
About 5 minutes ago.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm waiting
You know,
on,
technically, we're open and we're streaming, right? Anyways.
Right,
I'm waiting, our
Can you hear me?
yes,
yeah, it's Carol,
Okay. Yeah, hi.
hang
For
on.
some
Carol.
reason I can't get on. Yeah, okay.
oh, so you're not on?
For some reason I can only get on through the phone call. For some reason it's not letting me get on online. I can try it again. Let me see. Do you what's the meeting code? Do you have one?
Carol, I think I emailed you a link for this. Do you have that?
Yeah, that's what I clicked on. Let's see.
Sean, is that something you could help her with while we continue on with the rest of our meeting?
I don't have a number for Carol. I don't have a direct method of contacting her outside of this call here. But Carol, may I point out though that unless you feel it necessary, you actually sound really great compared to most of our other call-in users. May I
Okay.
suggest just kind of staying put?
That's perfectly fine with me. Whatever works for you.
I would say you're sounding good. Stay put.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Okay, Carol, just hang on while we finish the discussion we're in, okay?
That's fine. No problem.
Mike.
Can you pull up the spreadsheet for the fire department?
Fire appropriation?
Yep. Again, the same things. I don't know if there's anything in there that you want to add, Chief. I'll let you go with that. Basically the same principle. If we thought something was gonna actually change, we changed it. Not, we gave it 3% if we thought appropriate.
Is that the union contract?
Yes. It's actually, yeah, 3% off the union this year.
And it looks like the healthcare there got bumped up.
That's up to
30,000.
10%. on that.
That is 10% on this one.
Yeah,
so.
so, I mean, you know, I think Karen and I did a pretty good job of looking that over too. So there's some things, obviously, as you go down the discretionary thing, the things that we know what they're gonna cost, most of that says made actual because we went actually by, you know, we had an increase this year and what things actually cost with like our dispatching fees and things like that, that we knew, you know, they went up this year. So, you know, we made it actually what they're going to be next year. The same with, like, you see part-time wages went up. No increases in part-time spending, but what we did this year, bless you, what we did this year was, you know, we had part-timers that we hired. We actually hired 5 people over the year. We had to train all those people. So all the, you know, it's about 3-4 months a person. So, you know, that made that part-time wages go up while we were in training for those people. So she adjusted for that. If we hire more people next year through part-time and have to train them, then that's what, you know, we'll have, you know, that's what the cost actually was. So the only thing, like I said, the only really flexible stuff is if you go down on that sheet there, you'll see where we allow for building maintenance, building repairs and station improvements. And the last thing is that we did 270 some thousand. This year,
So there is a separate spreadsheet in there, Chuck, for
Trying to
the
find
capital improvements.
Where's this
Yeah,
file at?
It's under our current
The
meeting
office
right now,
manager.
under office manager folder.
right.
And that's called the,
And I have the same sheet in the fire department folder too. I have a sheet called budget in the fire department folder that I put this information with some other information that we may need as you're going through this. But the 235,000, last year, we did 275, but we took 100 off of that for truck. We've been doing 100,000 less for the truck every year. This 235, 50,000 less for the truck to finish that thing that we bought a few years ago, or 3 years ago. Now out of that 200, and that's the one that we can really play around with. We kind of committed to that when we passed that levy to put that into equipment and improvements to the stations and the equipment. So what we're looking at there, just to kind of go through it, 14 sets of gear would cost about 34,000. We've been doing 7 sets of gear. 14 sets would be fill out that what everyone would have new gear now. What we'll probably do is get 7 sets at the beginning of the year. Look toward the end of the year. If we're where we think we'll be, we'll get another 7 sets. All right, fire hose replacement. We've been replacing a few pieces here and there for the last couple of years, and we've been spending about 20,000 on fire hose, and we plan to do maybe 20 to 25,000. So I've estimated 25,000 on fire hose.
Hang on a second, I'm sorry.
Sure.
So the line item you were just speaking to, was which one?
It's right here, 235,000.
All right.
We had estimated at the beginning of the year on our 10 years, doing 285,000. The 50,000, you'll see she made the note there, to 50,000 out for the payoff of that truck that
How
we
much longer do
extended.
we have on that?
That's it. This is it for this last year.
So
Yeah.
what we did was, we had one that was like 420, right?
Yeah,
We paid the two, whatever, and then we took 50,000 out of that 285 each year, supposed to going out and financing it.
right,
So that we still maintaining that 285 budget.
right,
So instead of 285, we're subtracting.
right,
Yeah.
right. Last year, we put 100 toward it. This year, we had 50 more to go.
Why don't we put up almost your capital budget?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we can do that, sure.
It's in that same folder. and it's-
All right, then, you wanna bring that up? Yeah, we're doing really well. We're going to have at the end of this year, right now, we had anticipated putting in, carrying over almost 2 million. We're going to be over 2 million carryover. Then with this budget here, as you can see, like Bill said, at the end of the budget, our resources for the year, estimated resources and estimated expenses, we're going to be having over more revenue than expenses by about 321,000. That'll be added to that 2 million that we're carrying over. So probably, every year we're carrying over more. And that's going to break in about 5 years and start going the other direction. But, yes, but we are on track to where we thought we would be for the 10-year budget. In fact, this year for next year, we had anticipated carrying over right around, less than 2 million, and I know it's going to be over.
Well, the CARES.
Cares about DOT.
Well, yes, yes, it did. And did buy some equipment that we would have had. We probably would have bought most of that. We would have bought pieces of it this year, not all of it.
Right.
And we didn't budget for it. That wasn't in our budget. So we had never budgeted to buy that equipment.
So I'm showing on year-to-date appropriations, you're at 4.5 million,
Yes.
correct? And our original appropriation going this year was 5 million. So we've got 2 more months of expenditures. We're going to be over that. So what has taken us over? Is it
Oh,
the,
we actually went from 5 to 5.4 because we got 300,000 in grants.
so that money was mixed in there? then?
Yes. Yeah, that was
Well,
bumped
that really
up because of
screws
the
it up.
grants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should notate that with an asterisk or
There was-
something,
Yeah,
so we know.
I could even tell you, we got 100,000 in, 120 in SCBA grants, another 40 in grants from the tools for firehouse subs, and the 220,000 that went into our building from the insurance company went into our account and back out of our account. So that's where the extra money is.
So if we take that out, then we take 2 more months of expenditures, then we're going to be back where we needed to be.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So again, that's almost 500,000 worth of things that went into our account and then back out of our account. So that's where that adjustment came in. All right. So back to our expenses, just to kind of let you know a couple of different things that we're going to look at this year. On our needs list, we've had that I've had that forever. Our needs list looks way better now. Most of the stuff that was on our needs list from 3 years ago is gone. It's almost all done. There's a couple things on it that even now we're going to talk about for the CARES Act, putting the ventilation systems in so we can separate the bedrooms. If we do that, that's one of the last things that was on it. And then one of the other things on it that's been on it for the last 3 years is rope equipment. Our rope equipment's old. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be replaced. We've just been, again, buying a little piece here and a little piece there. But I estimated 25,000 will replace everything we need and get our equipment back to where it should be. All right. Now, Station 3. Oh, and fitness equipment. A lot of that stuff, again, it's now to the point that it's breaking and needs repaired. We're just either not using it or getting, putting things together. So all 3 stations, about 20,000 in fitness equipment to get the 3 stations up to where they need to be.
So where, all right,
Okay.
where's that file at?
It's in the office man. All of these are in the office manager.
I'm looking in the office manager. I mean, what's it called?
You can
then?
go to if you go to I put these all in my budget sheet.
Right there.
He just needs a name.
Yeah, it's up fire, it's up here, fire,
Machinery and equipment
machinery,
budget.
Equipment budget, fire department.
Yeah.
Office, it's in the office manager.
Got it.
Should be towards the middle.
But if you go to,
Okay, so those are all in there so you can see. This is how I plan on divvying up that 235,000, that's all. Just so you guys know that when you see these expenses come across, that's what we're talking about. So that's what I'm hoping to get. That's what we're talking about now, what we want to get. The stations, I've got the Station 3 dormers, the bay dormers. We did the front ones. That was 30 grand to do those dormers in the front. The rear ones would probably need done too.
please take those out.
So what's that?
I know the front they're for aesthetics, but do we need them on the back of the building for aesthetics?
No, I mean, they're leaking, so we need to do something with
So I'm
it.
getting at.
Yeah.
Versus replacing brand dormers, can they just do that? And
Well, they couldn't do it on the front because of the slope. They said it was too much snow coming off the front. So I don't know. I mean, I've not looked into if we can do anything different. What's that?
Oh, my computer's locked.
Oh,
I'm just wondering if it's a back for aesthetics and such, if we could just eliminate those and get rid of them. I mean, it makes sense on the front, but the
Yeah.
back.
and if we can, we can. I mean, I'm
Couldn't they put
not
those,
attached to them. I just we did do something with the,
Couldn't they put those staggered?
yeah, maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
See if they could put those in and eliminate them and save us 15
Yeah,
grand.
I'm gonna
20
get a
grand.
couple local estimates too, see if we
Okay.
can knock that down a bit too. Just before the guys were there doing the work and we had to make a decision on it, but we have time to get people in, look at it and maybe try to get someone local if they can do that, what kind of thing they can do.
So let me just throw something out
Sure.
here. So when we did our capital budget
Yes.
over 10 years,
Mhm.
and then we looked at everything and made the best projections we could make. One of the things that we made a mistake on, didn't account for, was the Affordable Care Act just being so good on the country and helping us keeping healthcare costs affordable.
Sure.
So being that we now have a 10% increase, which is still better than what the Affordable Care Act, which is like a 40% increase.
Right,
It's better, but it's still not right.
right.
So we need to overcome some of those losses
Right.
into our budget.
But we're carrying over more than we said we were going to at the beginning of the 10-year budget. So even though we are.
Now, that's a 1-year anomaly though, because of the CARES Act, right?
And for next year, if we stick to the budget that we're talking about now, that's going to be another 300,000 on top of the 2 million we're carrying over. We're going to be over for next year too.
All right, so let me
saying-
just throw this at you,
Sure.
Chief. I mean, today we're here just to absorb all this stuff and be a
Yeah,
sponge the best we can, throw
understand.
these thoughts out. But when we come back in 2 weeks and talk about this again,
Mm-hmm.
that's where my mind is going to be. So if there's anything else that can come out of here,
Mhm.
because I want to stick, when we campaigned, we told people 10 years
Mhm.
and realized nothing is perfect,
Right.
but we
Try to get as
can't,
close as
but we
possible.
want to do the best we can to hit that number. If that means something's got to go, then something's got to go.
Sure. And I think we're right on target from where we said we were
Okay.
going to be.
Okay.
Let me ask
That's
that,
the thing.
outside of this year, that's an outlier because it's the CARES Act. Previous years, we've never stayed on budget, right? We've always exceeded what
We've been on budget since we passed it.
I think we have.
We have been on since we
We have?
passed
I
it.
think
I thought we always
Since we
exceeded with
passed the levy.
overtime and healthcare.
Well, healthcare
Oh,
did stick it
There's
to us.
items that have gone over budget, like you're right, absolutely right.
Individual items, yeah.
individual
But the
items.
total expenditure has not.
No, not at
It's
all.
been close. Everything's been close. It's been within the
I thought
realm
those
of
pushed
reason.
us over the last 2
Yeah,
years.
not since we passed the levy. We haven't been
Okay.
over once since we passed the levy.
Well, we had to, because I thought we had to give them a 900K permanent to cover shortfalls a couple years ago.
That was,
That
Was that
yeah.
the year before?
Yeah, that was
that was
the
before
levy.
me.
Okay. No, I'm not blaming you. I know.
Okay.
Per se. I'm just saying in general, the fire department's the fire department. I
Is
don't
that
care.
Bill's fault? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, yeah. Bill was here. I wasn't in this job, so. But ask him.
The only thing you might want to consider is, like the last time when we had to spend 400 on something, we had to carry it out for several years.
Mhm.
The other option is that rather than spending that whole 285 in some years, that you carry those over so that year that you get to that one where you need the 400,
Sure.
that we don't take the 285 and then have to spread the other 50 over the future years. We've already kind of banked those monies.
That's the thing. Even with this list of things here, it's only 214.
Okay.
So even out of the 285, I still saved there's still not saved, there's 70 some thousand that I haven't allotted for,
Tim.
just in case either something comes up or hopefully we carry that over. So out of the 285, I've listed $214,000 worth of stuff. So it's not like I'm gonna spend it because it's there.
Mike, are we allowed to take $1 million of that and put it into some one of the start funds or something to get?
Right now, the stuff I'm like, all that money is, everything is investable. It's all in one pot right now. We have some monies in savings accounts and that.
I mean, even a money market that's getting 0.5 to 1%, we can't put something
Either a half, 1%.
in now down again. Okay.
Haven't even really worked it out.
Well, I know some of those, if you committed for 2 years or whatever, you can have their 2 to 3 years, so if we have $1 million,
We're allowed to go that far.
I'm just thinking if we can, on something we can commit for 3, get 2%, that's,
I've always been, I mean, we had like short-term investments like that before and stuff like that, never anything super long, but things that actually we could have gone long on because of that, but right now the interest rates are just so low that we haven't even been screwing, the administrative costs, like, for like our checking and all the things that we're doing right now, we're keeping a decent sized balance in our checking account so that we can get a no fee.
generally that's like 50K.
Huh?
Generally, that's like
No,
50,000.
ours is probably like 700 or 800. Yeah.
All right.
And so the earnings credit isn't that much. I mean,
Sure.
they're giving you like a quarter of 1%. I don't know, but that's something that we can talk about later.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, we got $2 million sitting there rolling for the next 5 years, put it to work for us,
All right, hang on. Mike, I want to move on here. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I want to move this.
Okay, just stations 1 and 2, we're getting work done on them for the CARES Act. Some of that work that's being done at Station 2 isn't going to be done after this is done. There's going to be work going to have to be done to finish everything. So I estimated 50,000 between the 2 stations to finish whatever needs to be done and then get those stations up to where we want them to be. Then this one here will be one that is discretionary for sure. Right now, we lease a vehicle over here for our chase vehicle at this station. The guys use it. They're pleased with it. They were glad to get it because it was new and all that. It's running out. The lease is up, I think, in March. Okay.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, 3 years. It's up in March. So we have to decide, do we buy it out at 16,000 or do we buy something a little bigger that was more, that did the purpose, but it is tight once they put their SCBA turnout gear and first aid equipment in there, it's tight. So something a little bigger, we can get on state bid for less than 30,000 or around 30,000 on state bid. They run between 27 and 30 depending on what we get.
What kind of miles are we typically putting on that thing?
There's 11,000 on that one. So that I'm sure they'll be happy to get it back. It's in great shape. They took really good care of it.
Why don't we just see what they'll give it to us for?
Well, that's
16,000.
16,000 is the buyout of the lease.
Probably more than that.
Well, it is probably so that, but
Yeah, that's why they'll take it and put it on the lot for
right, they'll put it
18.
on, they won't, they'll
20
take it for no problem. Now, do we want to buy that for 16,000 or buy something that suits us, our needs a little better for 30,000 or for 27,000, 27, 28? So, I mean, I would like to spend the money and get something that now that we have the money to do it, buy something that suits us a little better.
I think we should purchase two instead of leasing.
And that would be
Blink of an
done with
eye,
that.
3 years is gone.
Right.
But it served the purpose then when we
It
were
did,
close to spend, to
absolutely.
exceed our budget, it kept his
Yeah.
budget way
Right.
under versus
Yeah,
coming out of
it
pocket
did.
30
There was
grand.
no
So
problem.
that was the point of doing that back then, was we were close to exceeding
Yeah,
budget, so
right.
that made sense at the time, but now it might not be the right thing to do,
So that's a
And it did.
discretionary part that we can decide in March when that time comes up. But I just want to throw out there now that, I put this in. It's an estimate of 30,000 to buy a new vehicle.
That was a 3-year lease.
It was a 3-year.
What size vehicle would you get? What would you get?
Like a Durango or something, just a bigger SUV,
the
probably.
next size up.
Next size.
I think you
What's
said
the
what
next size up here?
Okay, that's the, that one's a terrain, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The Acadia is the next size up.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
No, he asked what the next size was. I think it's an Acadia.
GMC on the state bid too? They all?
I have to wait and see what's at the January, I'll find out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything will change.
Okay.
But right now, the pickup truck that we got, actually, that's really nice for a command vehicle too. I'm not sure, I'd have to think about that actually as being a response vehicle because it's bigger and
Who was
heavier.
that leased with? Is that Classic?
That's at least classic right here at the morning, yes.
And they were the leaseor, like,
Yeah,
they did it.
yeah, they let us use it. They really did us a favor with that. That lease is actually in their name. And
They actually financed the lease because they, at the time, now it's changed, but at the time, manufacturers wouldn't lease to an entity like this. But now, that has changed, by the way, so it is available to do for any vehicle now, I think, where at that point, they made accommodations to let that happen, but
Who was that, Dave White? Who we working with over
No,
there?
Adrian.
All right, so we'll think on it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
What else you got, chief?
That's it. I mean, that's basically, like I said, we're looking at about 214 of that 235 that I actually estimated out. But again, and all these estimates are high. I don't anticipate spending that, this much on station improvements. I'm just saying, okay, up to 50,000. So
What's the Chromebooks for?
the Chromebooks were that was the computer upgrades
Inside
that
the
happened
ambulance,
last
right?
year. They're sitting here. We haven't put them in yet because they haven't come out to do them.
Who has?
The IT people, they haven't,
Our IT people?
yeah.
How long have it been there?
What's that? That you have yours done. The fire station, we had our stations locked down for a long time, so they haven't come in. It was us. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. No.
Okay, good.
They're not doing anything wrong.
No, I didn't say, I was just wondering how, because you bought them last year, right?
We did buy them last year.
Okay.
We just, we're waiting to get them in to install
Okay,
stuff.
okay, cool.
They're only come in right now on an emergency basis. Something's broke. They don't want to come in and do, spend the time in there doing stuff just yet.
All right.
Mr. Chairman? We scheduled our health insurance representative at 6:00. Could we handle health insurance and then
Yeah,
let that
Russ,
person
okay.
go? And
I was just going to her, Mike. That's
Yep.
why I was asking him, so I'm just getting.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
are you there, Carol?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for waiting.
Carol, how exciting was that?
What was that?
How exciting was that?
Oh, interesting, I guess, for a
Yeah.
while, for a few minutes anyhow.
Polite. Carol,
Right.
Look at our faces, so that saved you.
Carol had intended to be at this meeting this evening, and on Friday, she called me. She's been exposed to someone who tested positive for COVID, so we agreed that probably not a good idea for her to attend personally. That's why she's on the phone. Not sure what the problem with the connection is. Carol's done the
Yeah.
work to research our health insurance, and I'm going to turn this over to her. She has some pretty good news about the eye and vision coverage that,
Can you close that?
yes. Carol, go ahead.
All righty. How's everyone doing tonight? Considering. So anyhow, does everyone have a copy of that spreadsheet? The renewal spreadsheet?
What spreadsheet?
Nope.
What spreadsheet?
Well, there's the tab, it had the 3 tabs, the medical, and then it had the dental, and then the vision, and then the annual summaries.
Who did you send that to me?
I sent it to Mike, yeah. That was a while ago, Mike,
Yeah.
that spreadsheet that I sent to you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were gonna use that tonight. Let me go ahead and start and I'll
Oh.
find the email and,
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it'd be easier. I can just, definitely go over what has transpired. So basically, your initial renewal came in at about 19%. And, based on that, you had about 10 members that had claims over $10,000. One had claims over almost at 100K. So I worked with my MMO rep and our underwriter to figure out, what can we do to bring this renewal down. So basically, what we did is the underwriter assessed the future risk, and then, based on their predictive modeling, the forecast was looking better. It was looking more positive. So we went back and said, what's the best scenario? What's the best you can do? And basically what they did was they slashed the renewal in half. So that's the best we can do. So it went down from 19.02 to 9.5% for the medical with your current HSA 3000 plan in place.
It's kind of what we,
So you said
So it's about,
9.5?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 9.5. So it's about an increase of about 57K per year, which, doesn't take into account the, employee contribution amounts.
no,
So it brings you're currently right now, as far as your annual premium for the medical, it's at about 600,000, a little over 600. This will bring it up to about 657,902. And then I also included a couple of alternative options, just to give you an idea. For example, right now you guys are on the 3,000, 6,000 HSA. Even if you increase your deductible by $500 for individual and $1,000 for family, it really just brings it down to around your current. So we're looking at like a 0.03 increase, which would be very minimal.
that's it.
by upping it 500 total.
It's deductible for individuals, and then employees, spouse, children, families, it's 7,000. So that would be 1,000.
Why isn't that fitting right on the screen? It's like it's too big for the screen.
Yeah, it has something to do with the resolution they have it set to be on the TV.
And what's our,
So
what do we put in the HSAs?
well, let's just do it this way. It's $500, let's say, right? So how many employees are on the plan? How many employees are on? What's the cost differential? What's the total? What's the total number if we raised it 500? What would be the total premium there versus the total premium staying the same? What's the difference?
Okay, so there's about a $55,000 annual difference in premium.
And how many people we have on the plan?
Right now, you guys have there's 5 singles, so 5 people would have
Total people.
their deductible go up, and then total would be let's see, 14, 19, 29, 30. Let me see.
Just tell me how many employees.
40.
40?
Oh, wait, let me count this. Sorry.
Okay. Just total people on there, right? Yeah, like plans, total plans together. I can't see that from here. So.
Yeah. 18.
So it costs us
33 on the medical. I was looking at dental vision. 33 employees on the medical.
So it costs us $53,000 to stay the same, or we go up to the next plan, give everybody $500 more. It would only cost us $16,500.
You're increasing the deductible on families by 1,000.
Okay, so even if you go 1,000, we still save 20 grand. If we cover the families and the employees, then we still save $20,000 or more.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying?
So yeah, you're going. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely. So even if you're with the extra $1,000, right, you're still going to be plus up a little bit.
How many? Josh, you can tell. How many singles do we have up there?
5.
And then the rest are families?
Well, you got
Employee was
Correct.
13, employee with children, 1, and families 14.
28, thank you. So we'll have 28,000 and then 5,000, so 2,500, so 30,500 if we cover everybody's deductible, or 50,000 if we keep the plan the same. So we'll save 20-some thousand if we raise the deductible and cover the difference for everybody in an HSA.
Mike, do you know?
Do you have to cover with the HSA? What if we just paid it? Paid the extra thing? Can we do that?
Hey, what?
Well, so in this scenario,
Why would we pay it? It's gonna cost us 30 grand more to do that.
No, Chuck's saying somehow pay the 500 or 1,000.
so like, so if you increase their deductible by $1,000, that means they have to pay $1,000 more. We pay the first $1,000.
no, we paid 25, we paid for the employee.
Oh, I know, Mike, but what I'm suggesting is instead of increasing the HSA by.
Make it a reimbursement,
Making it a, yeah, there you go. Make it a reimbursement for the difference. And then
HRA instead of HSA. So instead of, okay, so right now we're giving 2,500, we're covering that deductible. Let's say the increase is 1,000. We would still give them the HSA, but we'd make the other portion an HRA, like a reimbursement account, where if they paid that family difference, that extra 1,000, we would reimburse them. But if not, then they don't get it.
So you submit a receipt, we pay the first $1,000, then from there they go to their HSA.
You're gonna pay everybody anyways, like Dick was saying, because the first year.
Well, because not everybody's gonna do it. So you may have some
Everyone's
people,
gonna spend at least $1,000, Joe.
That's
well, then
true,
do it
too.
on the backside. Then do it on the backside. At what point our insurance goes up 10% for God's sakes?
Listen to me. Okay, hear me out. We're saving money.
By doing it.
We're either gonna pay.
We're not saving money because we budgeted for a much smaller amount. So at some point you gotta say,
Well, what we
the
budget for.
township's gotta break
Time out,
even here
time out.
too,
What if we
guys.
go with- If we leave everything alone and go with the original renewal, okay? We're gonna be paying $54,000 a month,
Correct.
okay? 657,000 for the year. We do nothing other than just renew right now, okay? If we go to the higher deductible, this one right here, okay? And we will save, we go from 54,000 a month to 50,000 a month, we pay 602,000 versus 657,000. So we save $55,000, okay? But our employees have $500 extra
Or
out
1,000.
of pay if they're, $1,000, I'm sorry.
It's 3,000, it's 30,500 difference in deductibles that our employees would be responsible
Right.
for.
30,500.
So we saved 25,000. So let me ask you, Chuck, real quick. What's the percentage we accounted for? Wasn't it 5%? 3%?
We did 3% right across the board on everything, saying some items go up, some items go down. We went 3%. And for most things, that's pretty reasonable, but healthcare fell.
Because if we did it right
We
now,
did every line item. We just did every line item by 3% of the capital improvement.
so if we brought the plan down, funded the HSA, we're just over that 3% increase. We're about 5%
Carol, is there a maximum?
in
But
expenditure.
what's
Here
wrong?
you
So
go,
if you're giving
$1,000.
the, so like with Lubrizol, time out for a second. So with Lubrizol, they don't even give you, I mean, they're just giving you, they don't even give you an HSA. Well, they give you a little bit, but it's squat. I mean, the HSA we're giving our employees is freaking incredible. In the private sector, we don't get that. And then also, they also don't offer that if your spouse gets it, you take insurance through there, not through us. We give them money for that too. They don't, the private industry has really stepped away from that. So what I'm suggesting is we don't want our employees to pay 1 penny more. We want to cover the health care. So if we're giving them the HSA of $2,500, keep it, but make them pay the first $2,500. And then if they go anything over that, submit receipts and we pay the extra $1,000, which is essentially giving them the same
Hang on
thing.
a second. Hey, Carol.
Because not everybody's going to.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Carol, can we mingle
That wasn't the question I had.
health savings account and well, this is going to settle this question first. Can you mingle health savings account and reimbursement on the same plan?
You really cannot. It's just two different things. This is just a qualified HSA.
Would you rather give the money or would you rather give it to the health insurance? Or do you want to increase?
No, Mike, that's not the question. I don't know what you're,
Or-
I'm trying to get some money to come back here for the township
Okay,
to make
or-
these things balance. I
Okay.
mean, all the accounts are getting killed.
All right, Jeff.
Are the HSAs capped? is there a,
There is, as far as the HSA, the most that you can contribute as far as like for a family would be $7,200 a year.
so a family, okay, and that's, so $7,200 per year is the maximum somebody can put into an HSA. But there is no limit on what we could
Employer, I
contribute.
think.
Well, it's combined. So between the employee and the employer, the most you can contribute together is $7,200 per year for family and $3,600 for individual.
Okay, so, I mean, if we did move deductibles, we're getting really close to that number where the federal maximum HSA contribution is just barely covering the deductibles.
Correct.
Right,
So
right.
this essentially, because what is this? What 3,500 7K, right?
3,500 and that's the deductible level. So,
Yes.
I mean, right. And so I don't even, as far as how many members would even meet their individual deductible or family deductible is probably, well, I know you had 10, at least 10, but, I'm not sure how many more would even meet the deductible level.
But you can't mix,
And-
you can't commingle HSA and an HRA, right?
That's what I'm going to confirm because I'm trying to think if it's greater than a certain amount as far as like the HSA limitations, if it would be compatible. That's a good question. That's something that I can find out.
Because
so you're saying,
by doing that, that would allow us to essentially we budgeted approximately 3% increase. So by moving up to the next deductible up, but only covering that if they expend it, we could make a 3% increase and nobody really would see an out-of-pocket cost higher than last year, which would solve a budgetary issue and keeping our health employees, our insurance for the health and our employees the same out-of-pocket expense at the end of the day.
Well,
So,
exactly. So you would just reimburse those employees that exceeded those amounts.
we budgeted 3%.
I'm just saying, but if we gave,
What are we currently paying?
Right, it's in the,
Which column?
you get what I'm saying, Josh? So we
600.
budgeted a 3% increase, what we're paying now. So if we went to the new plan at 0.08% increase,
paid the extra.
extra, we would just be over that 3%. Now, if we are allowed to commingle an HSA and HRA, Chuck's suggesting some people not do it, and then we really fall at that 3% when we're budgeted. We'll be.
But if we can't commingle those,
If we can't commingle, then we'll have to cross that bridge, and then it'll be an extra 1% or whatever out of our pocket. It's about a 5%, I think it would be if we paid all of it. So we're really at 2% over what we budgeted. But if we can commingle, that would solve our completely. Would not have to raise the cost on anybody and stay within our 3%. But our forecast.
Well, the only problem with
500
is that
for everybody, single, married, whatever,
yep.
it's a flat 2,500.
Right.
Everybody gets 2,500 in HSA.
1,000 for single.
Oh, that's for single.
How about the HSA?
Yes.
It's 1,000 for single.
And then 2,500 for everybody else.
Right. So right now it looks like you contributed 71.5 last year for just strictly HSA contributions.
71.5.
Yeah.
no, I think the cover was individual.
Yeah. But
The employees like that 100.
Chief,
Pretty clear.
you would know in our contract, do we cover the single employees, their full 2,500? 1,000. 1,500. There you go, Josh.
And just to throw that out there, I was making sure here, but the union picks up 10% of the increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that we keep on that increase down does help.
Oh, that makes a difference, Chuck.
Say what?
They pick up 10% of the increase.
That's in the contract?
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, because they pay 10% of the healthcare cost.
yeah, we all do.
Yeah, so the increase.
That's true too. That's right. We are paying 10% of the increase.
I mean, that was the reason that we want to get that work in there, so that in the future.
Right.
So it sounds like money budgeting wise and forecasting wise, the way to go would be moving up to the 35.7 and funding the HSA, or if we can commingle the HSA and HRA, then we really would help our forecasting budget. But either way, looking at the numbers, I think our best way to go for budgetary would be the 35.7, and then we have to look at that HSA commingling to see if we can do that.
So when do we need to make a decision on this?
December 1st is our renewal.
Right.
I haven't seen this.
I didn't see this first.
Actually, this is even more. Maybe
Um,
we should go to 4,000.
You can't though, because the max is 7,200.
No, the max is how much for the HSA? 7,200.
The max of 7,200 is the most that you, the employer or the employee, can contribute to their account on a yearly basis.
Okay.
All right, so
this is 480.
so we're,
I'd like to look at this and discuss
yeah,
it next
so
meeting.
Carol, why don't you do this? Mike will distribute this to us, and if you could, this week, in the next day or two,
Mhm.
confirm if or if not, you're able to commingle HSA, HRA,
Okay,
and then
right.
do the number crunching to see if it's a feasible move for us to go that route, to go higher and fund the difference, and then still, so we can keep close, because the 9.5 pushes us far over what we are budgeting. But if we
Right,
back
right.
out, do it the other way, we could fall pretty close to what we forecasted as an increase.
Okay, right, absolutely. Yeah, I'll talk to my rep tomorrow. So just to be clear, so do you get a lump sum every year? Or do you contribute a lump sum to the employees every year as far as the 1,000 and 2,500?
Yes.
Okay.
1,500 for singles we contribute, and
We think.
no, he said 1,500 and 2,500.
Oh, okay. So, okay, and that's just a lump sum.
Yeah.
And then do the employees also contribute on their own on a monthly basis?
They can.
They had the option.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, no, that would be ideal, especially if you're able, if it's compatible, then, it's pretty much if anyone just seems, to go over that deductible amount is when you can reimburse them. And it would still be a savings to you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Spreadsheet, just include that in there that, I verified, yes, this is what
Mhm.
we.
Sure.
Okay, anything else?
No.
We good? Are we good? Mike, you got anything for Carol?
Did you want to talk about dental and vision? Did you say that you had?
Yeah. So that's the medical. So I'll get back to you tomorrow, Mike, regarding the, if it's compatible. So that would be good. Okay. The dental. So the dental increased from about $4,000 total to about $4,211. However, Humana, they always offer some great bundling discounts. So they pretty much said that if they pick up the iMed Vision, which is very similar to VSP, which you currently have, it's kind of a wash when you're comparing the benefits. But if that's the case, then Humana will revise the renewal, and it will actually be about 5% less than your current right now.
Colin?
So what would happen is you'd get a savings. So right now your annual total for the dental is about $48,000 a year, 48,251 based on your current enrollment. If you pick up the iMed and terminate the VSP, the dental will come down to 45,498 a year versus the 48. So you're saving money there, and then also you'd be saving. I know it's not a lot of premium, but you'd still be saving as far as the vision. You'd be saving about $2,200 a year on the vision alone.
So is the coverage any different than where we're currently at?
No,
So it's.
go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's very similar. I can send you, if you don't have a copy of that spreadsheet, it shows, like right now, your current exam copay is $20 with VSP. With iMed, it's 10, so it's a little cheaper there. Materials, it's 20. iMed, it's 15, little cheaper there.
Carol?
Retail, you guys have a frame allowance, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Of one.
I'm sorry to
That's okay.
we say Karen in our office did an analysis comparing the old policy to the new policy, and she thought they were very similar. There were no significant differences as far as we would lose anything.
Right.
Yeah, I would make sure we're not changing something to save a few bucks.
No.
And we're gonna hear it because.
No, according to Karen's analysis, was pretty much the same coverage.
Yeah, it's kind of a wash. So yeah, and then so it's a pretty much similar, very similar coverage, and you're saving about $2,200 a year on the vision. And then also you'd be saving that amount on the dental if you pick up the vision through Humana.
So let me ask I know the big question in my house when it comes to vision is always getting glasses. What is the current plan for, and what does the proposed one flipping to? Are they different or are they?
The same. So what I wanted to do was mirror what you currently have, and so right now it'd be the same, once every 12 months.
My wife does. It's a big thing at home, so that's why I asked.
Oh, yeah.
You know, set of glass.
And it's so expensive too.
If it's the same, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could get those answers, we can get this spreadsheet to look at and we can talk next meeting.
On 17th. That's when we have to make the decision unless we schedule a special meeting.
Okay. All right. We got anything else for Carol?
Yeah, I mean, just the sooner the better if you're making changes, just so I can notify Medical Mutual and also just with Humana, just so we can get things locked up as far as an application getting completed and the census and all that.
So I would say going into this, Carol, we're probably looking at, I would think for these guys, we're probably combining the vision and dental, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other one, it's probably going to be going up to the other level, whether we combine the two or not.
And fund the HSA or do a reimbursement, however we have to do it, because either way, even worst case scenario, if we go up and cover the difference, we're still going to save 4% or more doing it that way. So, so either way, I think we're going to look at moving up to that plan. We just need you to do that homework to see if we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I will get that information tomorrow, so I can give you a call like tomorrow to go over everything.
That's good.
All right. Okay, anything else, guys?
All right.
Anybody?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Carol.
thank you,
Appreciate your
Carol.
patience.
Appreciate your patience, sir.
No problem. Have a good one.
Too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So now we're back to the regular meeting, huh? With about 35 minutes to go. Hey, Mike, can you figure out for next meeting how to get it where it fits the screen properly?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Something to do with the resolution for
You
sure.
have because like all our health insurance period and stuff like that is going for tax free. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's employee benefit plan or what? Another tax free plan that we've got going to. All of your premiums that you pay yourselves and stuff like that.
Oh.
You do that pre-tax through a pre-tax plan. Cafeteria plan.
All right, so Mike, you want to roll?
sure. I apologize, it's not on the agenda. I put in my notes that we have to talk about the CARES Act funding. We have, at the moment, $45,000 left. It's unencumbered.
Okay, I sent it to you guys. Did you get a chance to see it?
I saw it, not in
The
great
app.
detail.
Okay, so I sent it to Mike with that money. I verified with these guys and the creators of the app. It's essentially the same platform that the sheriff has. Many communities are utilizing the COVID CARES money to pay for the app because it does have a COVID section, a COVID notification, and a feed directly from the CDC on the app pertaining
What's
to
the COVID notification?
So let's say if there's an outbreak, let's say, just say, for instance, there was an outbreak detected at this event, you could do a push notification to everybody on the app that if you were at this event, there was an outbreak, go get tested or something like that. So you can, any type of emergency notifications can be pushed to your phone. So it'll pop up on your phone. There's a COVID tab. I sent you 2 images. Can you bring that up?
Yeah.
So there's a COVID tab right on it, so they can click on it, and it will provide, will bring up a sub menu that'll take them to General Health District, the Ohio Department of Health COVID dashboard. They picked the wrong logo. He said he didn't find ours, but it says City of Painesville. But you'll see on the top it says Painesville Township. So it's up there, Mike.
So this was what, like 20-some thousand for 3 years?
So it's $12,000 the first year, but that includes the building of it, and then essentially $49.99 is the
$5,000 a year.
$5,000 a year is the maintenance. He priced it out a 3-year lump, which covers development and 3 years of maintaining it and those type of things. And we can adjust this any way we like, the homepage. But what we could do is they could develop this so much that people could be doing zoning applications right from the app if they wanted to, And that would all be included to help put that on there. And if you scroll up, I think it says, does it say COVID up there on the thing? But there should be, scroll up a little bit. But they can report an order right from their phone. It's not their report a concern. So to contact us, if there's like something else, we would add the COVID tab right to the center there. So people could click on that. It would take them to, like I said, let's just say Lake General Health District's site. It would also have a sub menu to go to the Ohio COVID dashboard. And then we would have the ability for the push notifications for COVID. So this is how, there's a second image. Do you have that?
So I've looked at the sheriffs, and you go to the app and it just links you to their webpage, a lot of the things.
Some of the stuff you can do you can do link URL directs, or you can do it inside the app.
And I know he does a lot of push stuff, but they know when roads are closed for traffic and.
Now, but here's what's nice is you can give, let's just say, here's the other thing that's integrated into this app. We can give the sheriff permissions
Select another tab.
open your email, another tab, Mike.
I can't see it from here.
Okay,
there we go.
So let's just say you can assign permissions, okay, guys? So let's just say we could give sheriff the permission to the sheriff tab in our app. And let's say there is a sheriff notification that needs to be out there, road closed. Like you're saying, Josh, somebody's in the sheriff app, he could push that notification out through our app, that if there was an emergency in Painesville Township, he could push it out through our app for anybody that has our app as well. So we can fire can do the same thing. So fire can go through and they can do push, they can do notifications, those type of things.
Who would administer this? Who's going to be doing the app?
Well, you would get, like I said, you would grant sheriff or fire permission. So fire, all you do is you grant this in the beginning, you set it up and grant him permissions to that
Just asking
tab.
Who's going to maintain it during the course of time?
Well, that's what we're paying $5,000 a year.
Pay $5,000 a year for that.
So if he needs to send out a push notification through the fire tab, he can do that on his end. Doesn't have to involve Mike or the company. He can log right into the phone or do it from his phone. He can send it out. He can type the message. Boom, it sends a push out that says there's a major fire at so-and-so. This road's closed or whatever it may be. So it gives the ability to assign. Same with Bill. You could assign him if he wants to put any note. This bridge is falling in or whatever. I'm just saying he can push it out. It goes out immediately. But more so towards the emergency notifications for COVID. Health department a link would be right up there, RSS feed through there. So if anything comes up, it would be automatically updated to our app so people can view those things, view COVID numbers, blah, 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 blah. All those would be.
So I like the idea of doing an app. That's what people are using instead of computers.
Right.
And you could put all kinds of stuff on there. Whether it has to be done now or not, I don't know. I know we have the COVID funding, but I think they have released or reduced the restriction or eased the restrictions on the money. I think we can take the money we have left and just pay for salaries of first responders, can't we? Like just
Not, I believe it has to be, their time has to be committed to COVID-related responsibilities, not just pay their regular salary, because that's in our budget. If it was in our budget at the beginning of the year, we can't use funds
See,
for
I
that.
thought they relaxed the regulations.
Well, they relaxed them, but not that one.
Not that, okay, so.
Yeah. So anything we had pre-budgeted, we can't spend it on.
If it was budgeted, we can't spend money on it.
I thought they relaxed that because people couldn't.
It wasn't a general across the board, everything's relaxed. They relaxed certain components. But the in the budget has not changed.
So this is just a Painesville Township app.
This would be specific to
Our app.
Painesville Township, and in perpetuity, we have rights to it, so calendars, events, emergencies outside of COVID moving forward, we could do that as well. So
In your reports, you have to pay for our sheriff deputy, didn't you?
Yes.
An additional deputy or just the existing one we paid for?
No, an additional.
I thought it was additional.
Yeah, being additional.
We
yeah.
budget for it
Yeah,
already.
Well, that wasn't actually defined for me. It was, the OMG had, OMB, excuse me, had relaxed the restriction on you. Communities could and those of us that had a contract could not. They relaxed the rules so that those of us who have a contract can pay for a deputy. Honestly, Josh, I'm not sure if there's a definition that.
Right, because what if we can take the $45,000 and put it towards that expense that we were gonna have for a deputy, and then that is that will prolong that levy budget. I mean, this is a
Deputies-
great idea, but
A deputy costs 120,000 a year.
Well, levy budgets.
does that be all of the deputy or can it be?
No, it doesn't have to be. Oh, no.
Right, I mean, if we can put $45,000 toward their deputy cost this year.
Well, you're talking 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's.
But you're talking about 3 months versus 3 years. And I mean, I get extending a levy, but 3 months versus something that we could utilize. And I'm not married to this thing. If we don't do it, we don't do it. I'm just saying, but we get 3 years out of this and still have 20-some thousand left, whereas you blow all that and you get 3 months worth of money out of it.
After 3 years, it costs $5,000 a year to keep it.
At that point, now I don't know what it, if you can, if we say, well, just, if we want to reduce what we're doing, if that, well, we can maintain it on our end or,
Our police levy.
right. That's the other thing too, yeah.
It's just, if we could find a way to spend the rest of our COVID money on something that's gonna actually save us, and I thought if they relax the regulations enough that we could, make something work.
You asked for about a fireman. I put it towards a sheriff's contract. I believe we can. And I actually would want to verify that before you took it to the bank. But to pay for a fireman would be different because that's in our budget at the beginning of the year.
I mean, we're gonna have COVID-related expenses rolling into next year that have to come from somewhere. I know some people say COVID went away after the election, but I think it's still here.
The election's not over yet.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
not
was
over.
thinking,
It's far from over.
20th.
if we could use
Yeah,
this money
still got January
somehow
20th, buddy.
Probably
to
December
help something
14th, that was.
existing budget that would then free up money for those COVID expenses when they come up next year, was all. I was-
Could it maybe be used for Bill's pole barn? Seeing as how the reason for the pole barn is because
No.
you had to have extra buildings.
Yeah, it has to be done spent this year. That's the problem we're at now.
Well, that's the other thing. We
Yeah.
can't prepay for our
Can't prepay
labor.
for anything.
So you can't dump 45,000 in the sheriff.
I'm sure you'd be happy to give us the invoice.
Well, I understand that, but we've already discussed that with building. Somebody give us an invoice. If it's not accrued by then, you can't do it. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, we paid months of November, December for this year. I don't know.
Roughly 182 or 3,000 a quarter is what we're paying for the contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's our normal contract.
Right, so
It's just the extra.
3 months is 180K, so you're essentially getting 1 month of payment if you spent 40 grand, right?
Not even 1 month. Yeah.
Not even 1 month.
No, but it's alleviating that cost from that budget. If we had to use that for something else, or if we have COVID expenses next year, where does that money come from? So that was all I was thinking of, if there's.
President Biden's going to find free money.
Well, that's
for
the
everybody.
other thing you want to talk about. Allegedly, he's gonna fix it all anyway,
Make me
so
puke.
we won't have to worry about it if there was expenses. Jason, what's your thoughts on spending it on an existing sheriff's contract? Not additional, but existing.
So, I mean, I'm just reading through my guidelines here. So if it only applies to public safety, which would include your sheriff, as long as they are substantially dedicated to COVID mitigation, responding to COVID, you can use COVID to pay for their full salary. And the Treasury, they say as an administrative accommodation has said that if you're public safety, you can presume that that person is substantially dedicated to responding to COVID. So
Which would make sense on the fire side, but a sheriff road patrol,
the way I
contracted road
understand
patrol.
it is as long as you're talking about public safety, so police, fire, EMTs, that kind of thing.
Okay,
You can use COVID funds to pay for payroll for them.
okay.
Even if it was already budgeted.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, because, and then the reason they do that, so even if it's budgeted, but it's a substantially different use of what it was, and because kind of as a subset of substantially different is that substantially dedicated. Because I guess the way they look at it is, without COVID, yeah, obviously they would have been doing what they normally would do. With COVID, kind of what they're doing, I guess they're going to presume, like I said, as that administrative accommodation, that what they're doing.
We could
is
have them go
different.
and pull people over, give them a test.
So
The
is,
last thing we wanted.
But as a matter of an audit, we would have to demonstrate that
That's
they
what I was
were
just gonna ask, is
using.
that's the back door is the audit part, since we're spending the threshold where we're triggering an automatic audit for this,
Mhm.
will that come up into question?
Yes, we are.
So you still have to keep records. You still have to maintain documentation of what the substantially dedicated is. But like I said, from the Department of Treasury, it said as an administrative accommodation, we're going to presume that it's substantially dedicated if we're talking public safety. Now, the guidance from the OBM has said you should still be able to demonstrate that it's at least 50% of their time is COVID-related things.
So you're the guy who has to write the legal justification for the purchase. Are you going to put your name on it?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question.
Put this name.
No,
I
we just
mean,
have an audit. We have the auditors already asked because
Let
we
him
have
answer
to.
the question.
I mean, based on the guidance, I guess what OBM is saying on this and what the Treasury is saying is a little different.
Right.
The Treasury, I'm reading, as administrative accommodation may presume public health and public safety meet that substantially dedicated test.
I got a question. Would you like me to ask the auditor? Because they're going to come out and audit it, the same ones that are auditing our regular books. You want me to ask her for clarification?
Yeah,
on
but
that?
do they know yet?
I'd be surprised if they know yet.
I was gonna say, they probably do not have their audit guidelines on this
We
yet.
made a decision that anything he says or
Yeah.
Jeremy says is gold for us.
Okay.
And if they put their name on it and they say it's good, then we're hanging our hat on that. So that's why that question is asked to that table. If he says it's good, then it's good. If he says it's questionable, then we're not doing it.
I don't see how Jason can answer that question tonight.
Okay, and that's fine.
Take some research.
No,
Sure,
that's-
look into
yeah.
that.
That's fine.
I mean, so I can say,
It's turning like 10 shades of red over there.
Yeah, we put them on the top.
He's normally
I
on,
can
normally
say,
on the other side of the camera.
it says public safety and public health personnel are presumed for administrative convenience to be substantially dedicated unless the chief executive determines that specific circumstances indicate otherwise. I don't know why your chief executive will go and make that determination.
Who's the chief
If that's
executive, the
test.
sheriff?
I mean, in this
No,
case,
the,
I think it would be you guys.
The
Oh.
trust,
Okay.
the president of the board, the trustees.
So like I said, under
Yeah.
under Treasury
Fiscal
guidance,
officer.
there's a presumption that if it's public safety, it's substantially dedicated, which means you could use CARES funds for their payroll.
So which one's more reasonable, that or this? Which one's an easier sell?
I mean, I would say the payroll is probably the easier sell, just because I could point to specific
Right.
Treasury guidance that says, hey, you put this presumption in place, these are.
Well, then,
public
see, so here's the
safety
thing.
employees.
If we take $45,000 and put it towards fire payroll,
Fire or police, you mean?
Police.
whatever.
Well,
Either.
okay, go ahead. Is your point the same? Is your point the
Right.
same? Okay.
Yeah, so we put it towards fire. Hey, if we get into next year and COVID's gone and Frank's okay on overtime on the budget, well, we save $45,000 there. We can shuffle money around somehow, I'm sure, and purchase this at that point.
Well,
If we-
we'll do it out of the police, because come union negotiation, those guys see 45 extra thousand in there, we'll be paying for,
We're good for 3 years. For 2 years.
okay, all right, that's
So
true,
what I'm
okay.
saying, You know, or if COVID does stick around and he runs up the overtime, to keep Chuck from falling on the floor with, seeing the budget go sky high and overtime cost, we got that $45,000 in there.
There's a plus for everybody
You
involved.
guys asked me to look at this vent system too.
We said buy it. I thought, didn't we?
Okay.
Didn't we
I
last
thought
time?
you're talking about the,
Yeah.
cleaner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we
I
said,
got the actual numbers and
Wait, what was that?
so you'd
part
be
of the-
more apt to put your name on us
microphone.
paying, I don't care either way, like I said, I'm not married to this thing, so if we don't do it. So we had put you on the hot seat, you're more apt to put your name on paying for payroll versus paying for this.
Yeah, I think both are defensible.
Okay,
Um,
so either one.
But I just think there's specific guidance for the payroll.
Okay.
And if it came down to an audit and they said that wasn't proper, I'd say, well, I'm just going by exactly the guidance that
Sure.
you guys gave us.
So the thing you're talking about there, chief, is that already included with the 42,000?
That's what I was, I
left?
don't know. That's what I was.
Mike, what's the answer? You said $42,000 left. Now we're talking about this, back to this thing for the fire truck. Is that already included in the prior lump or is that coming out of the 42?
It's changed to 45.
Close, okay.
And what is the item? I can look
It
it up.
was for event system,
$60,000
exhaust system. Actually,
total.
13,000 per station. So anyways,
And town hall, right?
$25,500 is what they wanted for
Wait.
the.
What's it
equipment.
called on the
13,000 per
spreadsheet?
station equals 25,000.
It would have been exhaust system for the station. And I don't think it was in there. That's why.
I don't think it is either.
I thought
but It will take me
I
2
thought it
minutes.
was.
Was it? Because I know we estimated 13,000 a station, but.
So how does that go to 25,000?
Because I went from an estimate, or we actually looked at it, we got bids from different companies. I'm sorry.
So the final price is 25,000.
Right, for the equipment, right.
I just feel like that.
Installs additional.
Installs additional. But the company this company's out of West Virginia and they wanted 11,000 to come on and install it. But you can get a local HVAC guy. It's going to cost like $2,000 to get it put in. It's not.
Here's my thing. If we were in a position where we're running out of time and we needed to expend the money, it would make sense. However, doing this, but it's not a necessity. Whereas 60 grand, if now we're learning what he's saying, what you can't, you brought up, which is valid with labor and, labor and contracts. I feel the 60,000 would be much better spent on labor than that.
Oh, you're saying the 45 plus,
The 60 that he's talking about for 4 of those things, plus installation,
no, he's talking about
13,000 per location, plus,
per station.
3 stations plus town hall.
2 stations. This is the thing this is what goes on the end of the truck
Oh,
exhaust.
that, I thought you were talking about the HVAC thing.
No, this is just goes on the end of the exhaust, the tailpipes.
That, okay,
And it's,
the exhaust ventilation.
yeah, it's not? No.
So you're talking 25,000
Okay.
plus $2,000 per station. So 30K.
That's what the original.
Well,
In 15, you're at
30K
45.
and 12, there, now you're
You're
done.
there, you're done.
12 is gonna drop in the bucket when it comes to labor. I mean, 40 or 50, that makes a huge chunk. 12, that's a day.
It is. I mean,
That's
do
one
we
day,
need
that's
to-
3, that's,
do we need to push this through right now, or can we? I don't know. If we can stick money in,
I feel like if we got
Save the
12
overtime.
grand left, let's say, in the grand scheme of things, it's gonna give us 1 day's worth of labor.
what if we put it towards his budget and then we do this out of the police budget?
6 one after the other, right?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Yeah. I
It's
guess.
a shell game at that point, I mean, just what I'm saying, we probably spend it 12 grand a day easily in labor, fire department. So 12 grand is gonna be less,
We do it, what?
yeah, think about it, right? 12 grand a day, 4 guys per 20, yeah, we're spending 12 grand a day. Do 12 grand times 365, what's that?
3 times 12 is 3.6.
4.4 million.
There you go, spend about 12. So we got 1 day's worth of labor, or at least an app developed in a full year of 3 stations. So I think at that point, pay for that, do this, and we're done.
When do we have to make our,
Well, 11/20's,
Yeah, we could make decisions on November 17th, and that gives us a few days before the deadline. The deadline is November 20th. It's a hard deadline.
yeah. there's
But
no
we
song.
can make decisions on the 17th, but we can't push it beyond that because we need time to,
so we
Prepare.
can pull the trigger on this on
17th.
the 7th.
As opposed to doing it now, and what's the option? Do $12,000 the other way?
1 day labor.
That or, what, between now and the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, if something comes up,
Something
let's
comes
do
up,
that. I
right?
guess float it till the 17th. If something comes up, if not, then 17th, we'll push it through.
All right.
There
so
you
do
go.
we have decisions tonight that I need to be aware
So
of?
on the thing he wants,
What's the
Chief.
thing you want?
Event system.
We're doing that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
If we're moving people out into
How is
the
that
sleeping
justified
area
on COVID though? What's the thing?
for the vents, because we're moving sleeping quarters for COVID.
That's right, the back, that's why it had to get
And to
moved.
make the sleeping quarters.
So because the sleeping quarters got moved, we have to take area in the bay, and now they gotta have ventilation on the vehicles, so the guys don't die when they're sleeping from carbon monoxide.
Is that reasonable?
So the sleeping quarters were moved just to,
The sleeping quarters were moved,
So we can create separation. They were sleeping in the same room currently.
so we're creating separation. They're now in different places, but where they're going, they might be exposed to carbon monoxide in a running vehicle. So to prevent anybody from dying in their sleep, we're gonna install a ventilation system to take care of that.
yeah, I got no problem.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that's similar to the batteries we had to get to power the new equipment,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, so we're good, chief.
So at least 13 and 14, Mike, which if nothing comes up before, then we'll move forward with this with the,
It was the relocating that
Between now and then,
cabinet.
Joshua.
Was relocating the cabinet in?
It's in there.
Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of the, we'll have more hard and fast numbers at that point too.
So we got a lot more to cover in 8 minutes, 12 minutes.
12 minutes. All right, moving on then.
Yeah, the curbside leaf collection, the school says no.
I know.
Somebody's contacting Gabe. It's always been a trustee's decision who does it. I'm a little reluctant to recommend to you that we not follow what the school administration.
That's
has-
fine.
That'd be my thought too.
That's fine. Just move on.
Yeah, they've pretty much come to the, even though that the club itself is not a school, I think they've come to terms that,
Yeah, not for this year. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. What's next?
Okay. All right, and the children's Christmas party, we should decide if we're having it because we need ramp up time to put it on. And yeah,
I say postpone it. I mean. it's
So
done.
here's what I'm thinking, that I figured that would be the way we would go. Maybe we do a drive-through. Kids can come through, drop off a letter to Santa, and we can give them, Santa can be there waving, and they can drop off their letter, Santa can wave to them. Maybe we just do a drive-through drop-off like they did for, some of these communities did for trick-or-treating. They had a drive-through trick-or-treat where they came through, they handed them a bag of treats, and this way they can drop their letter off to Santa. We'll have Santa there waving at them. They can drop off their letter and then give them a little whatever.
is there a
That's-
budget for the treats? How many kids are we gonna,
I don't know.
and are we gonna check IDs, the addresses?
We don't at the Christmas party.
Right, but I mean, we're advertising drive-through.
I would say just. It'd be
Talk
six.
about it next meeting. We do that?
Well, we need some ramp up time.
So, no party.
No party, so that's out. So
Period.
this will give us a couple weeks to let people know,
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
and we can plan that. That's anytime, I think. But
okay, I'm done.
that's just something I think because all these parties are gonna be cut, right? So these kids are gonna have nothing at Christmas time.
All right, so who has something that we got 10 minutes. Can give each of you 5 minutes, and
Yeah, I got something.
if you can cut anything out, cut something out. We got 3 departments.
Ready to go.
You do it in a regular meeting too.
Yeah, we can roll it over if we have to.
Okay, our cat loader, it's a big machine. We found out that the cab was leaking. We left it outside one day and water was running all in it. We asked a local body shop if they were interested in it. No, they didn't want to touch it. We had a guy that does it on the side. No, didn't want to touch it. We sent it down to CAP. It needed to have a used cab put back on it. It was rusted so bad that it was beyond being saved. The original estimate was at $20,000 to have that done. Well, they took the cab off, and the more they got into it, the more they found that needed repaired on it. It's probably going to be in the range of 45,000, maybe as much as 50 for transmission lines and repairing the front bucket where all the pins were frozen and needs to be machined. The turbocharger needs replaced. If the air transfer box got contaminated with oil from the turbo, it's going to have to be replaced. It seems like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I thought, well, before we spend that, we'll trade it in, use that 50,000 toward a new one. We'd be looking at 125,000 plus the trade in. So.
And how is this COVID related?
This,
For what? I'm sorry, what was it?
pardon?
What was that for? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
The cat loader.
He thought Jason's face got red before.
Cat loader, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's a lot of money. If there's a bright side to it, this is a good year for it to happen because we've got it. Our maintenance budget is coming in less than projected, so we've got some money, and I've also got some money I can move from other funds. But I told them, don't move forward until I get an okay. And we need to have this back before the snow
Good,
flies, because that's what
good.
we use for
Fix it.
road and salt.
All right, just
Fix
fix
it.
it.
Instead of buying, you're saying?
Yeah, fix it instead of buying it.
Yeah, you gotta fix
Oh, yeah, we don't have the money to buy it. No, we
Oh,
can't
I
get it.
It's
thought
We
$100
can't
some
get another
thousand
one.
dollars to buy it.
No, we don't have the money to
Oh,
buy
I
it.
thought that's why he's bringing it up.
No,
He
I
wanted us
just need approval for, you know,
$50,000
go ahead and
repair.
fix it.
Oh.
And- And we need to get it back
You think
before.
it's gonna, you think
the
it's gonna
snow flies.
last? I mean, does it make sense? We're not throwing good money after bad on that.
No, once, basically, we're gonna have a new loader by the time they get all this done, and, we're gonna get another 12, 15 years out of it. I can see that happening easy. These machines last for a long time. We're using it in the salt.
That's beautiful.
That's taking it.
Okay, next.
Next is on Stratford. The last time we had the heavy rain, people had some flooding again in the basement. The last time it happened, we had a short section of the storm sewer cambered and cleaned by Zero, and they found some roots, and we thought that might be the problem. These people got flooded again. I'd like to get the rest of the system cambered and cleaned by Zero. It'll be about $3,000, and that will be a reimbursable expense through stormwater.
Beautiful.
Okay, Concord Township is going to pave Cherry Hill and also their section of Middleton. Middleton, half of the road is theirs, the other half is ours. So I would like to just add on our section. It'd be another $6,000. It will just be included in our road project for next year, but that was not something that we had discussed
Good.
previous.
You wanna have Zero clean this? They just video it,
They do both.
or would they clean it too?
Sometimes they have to clean it in order to get the camera through.
Okay.
So if and then if the camera picks up roots, they got a root cutter that they can
Okay.
get it out.
I just thought that was better than us trying to go back later and do it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so they're
Yes.
gonna video it and clean it. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful.
All of the chairs that were here, we put them on gov deals. We wanted $1,000 for everything. Best bid we got was $330 some dollars. So they're all down at the road department. What do you want to do with them? I was trying to sell the chairs, the hard chairs for $10 a piece, the cushion one for $20 a piece. Do you want to try to sell them individually? You want to advertise till people come down, buy a chair for $10,
That's
$20
what I would do.
How many chairs are there?
There's about 70 of these kind of chairs, and there's
I know someone who wants a
fif-
Ford van.
15 for the cushion. We have about 15 of the cushioned ones.
Open up the garage, come down and have a sale and make, you know,
Can you do that?
However you want to do it.
why couldn't you?
I don't know. I know there's rules for everything.
Residents only.
Yeah.
So on those gov deals, is it only other government entities that are buying those, or can anybody
No,
buy them?
anybody can. We had a lot of people look at them, but
So if I tell someone to go look at it right now, could they still buy it? for
no,
this
because,
right now?
no, because the sale ended. When you list it, you only have a certain amount of time, and that time period ended yesterday.
Why don't we do this first? Send the pictures of them to me. I'll list it on Marketplace on Facebook first to see if we can get anybody to bite that way and have them just come out and look at them. If not, then we'll look at what else we can do.
Yeah.
But somebody might, somebody, you might know somebody, or somebody might have
I
a,
really thought a church.
Can
or
you
somebody
legally
like
sell
that.
your stuff like that? I mean, don't you have to go through bidding and stuff? Something that's government?
Not for these
No,
dollar amounts.
no.
I think, yeah, as long as it's under 2,500.
there you go.
Okay.
I think all you need to do
So
is.
send me some good pictures.
Okay, good
I'll
enough.
list them on,
I don't think there's any good pictures of those.
So,
Did you have
Chief,
a price on
let me
that?
go to zoning
far
first.
away portrait mode.
So we're gonna go to zoning. What do we have? There's 3 items. There's Safe Store, Meyer, and 206 Hawthorne.
Rich?
If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'll save Safe Store and 206 Hawthorne for the regular meeting. Let's talk a little bit about Meyer. Harley and I had a telephone conference with the Meyer people. They would like to put their gas station for their Mentor location on the 3-acre vacant parcel in between Safe Store and Emerald Plaza. The zoning district that property is currently zoned as is B1. They would need a B2 or a B3 zoning to be able to get a conditional use permit to operate a gas station there. I'm a little bit concerned about exposing ourselves to spot zoning, uh, action or accusations. I'll depend on legal counsel for an opinion on whether or not that's a legitimate concern before we get too far into conversations. Meyer does not seem to me to be agreeable to our architectural plans or anything that is not part of Meyer's package. So Harley, you can speak up if you see it differently, but they did not seem to be too interested in taking a real hard look at our desires, um, and instead think that they are a slick, good old boy who's going to force us to eat their dinner. So go ahead, Harley.
I don't know if they responded to you or not after receiving your email with the
If they
architect.
responded to you, I would appreciate knowing that.
No, they did not respond to me.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify before continuing with my opinion of the conversation. So they approached us with Myers's brand new design for buildings that they've just done a ton of research. They're really excited about it. Unfortunately, our design standards are much more traditional because of the location in the area. And we had a discussion with them about it, and they seemed upset that they couldn't go through because they were excited to get this building up, but I didn't get the feeling that they were going to push for what they wanted. They just seemed a little disheartened.
Okay, so what
that
they
didn't
want's
get the
unacceptable.
chance.
That's the starting point.
Yeah. What they
Okay.
want isn't in line with our designs, and
I don't know if I want
they
a gas
got-
station there. It's just like a big get-go there, except it's Myers gas station.
and
Yeah.
that's entirely up to you guys.
There's
They're
better use for that property.
We gave them the
How many more years?
architectural
20?
I don't care.
standards
If you're finding stuff now, it's
for
coming this
Menor
way.
Avenue. And they will be coming before the trustees after looking at what sort of building designs they have. They'll be coming before the trustees to show them what they've got. And in regards to Rich's concern for spot zoning, this opens up the opportunity for the trustees to discuss the appropriateness of maybe rezoning a strip of Menor Avenue. Right now, it's split between B1 and B3, but we do have a B2 zoning. So it would be a gradual increase in use from B1 to B2 and B3. So that is something worth considering, but at the end of the day, it's just a discussion at this point. Would something for you guys to consider. They're approaching, interested in utilizing the property this way. It's not appropriate for the zoning. There's a couple different ways that we could deal with it. Either just rezoning that parcel.
So that property
by
is zoned
itself.
what currently?
It's B1, and I would say it's closer to the center of our B1 strip. So we could, to avoid a claim of spot zoning, we could keep B1 from Mentor to the Safe Store property, move to B2, and then cut off the B2 use somewhere in the later on down Menor Avenue this way.
And how
As
does
we
that
go
affect
further
what's over
east.
there?
Huh?
How does that affect what's currently there in the other zones?
So right now, for the B1 district, the uses as we go from B1, B2, and B3, they become more, what's the correct word for this, Rich? Intrusive, I guess. It's busier. We allow, as we move up in zoning districts, B1 would be more appropriate for retail spaces, offices, things like that. And then B2 is when we start allowing things like gas stations. B3 is everything that we allow in a commercial district is allowed in B3. So it would, if we rezoned a small stretch of our B1 space, it would just gradually increase from the B1
So what's
to
Giant
B3.
Eagle?
Giant Eagle is B3. B3 starts, I believe, right here at Nye. Is that right? Rich?
No, Doan Avenue.
Doan? Okay, so
Yeah.
Doan is where B3 starts.
Chairman, it's 7:30.
Only thing between
But-
Doan and that is Hell Regals.
Yeah, this is just the beginning of the conversation. Myers will get back to us with designs that better suit our design standards, and they'll present them to the trustees. So you guys can start discussing this more and seeing if it's even something you guys want to consider rezoning.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
we should switch to the public meeting.
Yes, we're just getting that, Mike. Once again, you're getting to me. All right. So anything else further we have for any departments, please bring up in your reports and we'll discuss there. Okay?
Okay, we're going to sign off this meeting and relog on under the trustees' public meeting.
Be there shortly.
Are we staying live on one of them?
No, you can't, I don't think.
No. No, we're not live now.
I thought we were because